us. And may their togetherness today represent the community that we are continually creating. Let us do the children's benediction now. My comments today are about keystone flowers. Keystones are important things, and flowers can be keystones as well. I'm starting with a true story. A few weeks ago, I was sitting in the waiting room of a doctor's office. I was bored, and I couldn't help but overhear that guy who was talking loudly to his neighbor. "I gotta get me some more Roundup," he said, "to get rid of the dandelions." And I had to use my hand sprayer. He showed the motion because my spreader didn't work properly. I sprayed at least 100 of them this morning. Okay, I did some deep breathing, and I was spared from causing a scene explaining to him the importance of dandelions in the ecosystem, and also that the World Health Organization has linked Roundup to incidences of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Because just then he was called by the doctor, so we didn't have that scene. But he's not a rare exception. Chemically treated lawns are all over our country, and they rank up there with other surfaces that are not contributing to the ecological health and biodiversity. Say golf courses, parking lots, and so much more. I'm sure you can think of many. That little episode, when I heard someone talk about aggressively getting rid of dandelions, brought my mind to that particular kind of flowers that, just like dandelions, are called keystone flowers. Keystone flowers are plants that play a vital role in such things as providing food for butterflies, caterpillars, and bees. Some keystone flowers prevent soil erosion. Some bring nutrients to the topsoil via their deep root systems, like the dandelion. And others provide shelter for small animals and plants. Some provide food to humans and other animals. Some have medicinal qualities, and some have several of these roles. They are vital to living ecosystems and biodiversity. And some are in today's bouquet here at Beacon. Let's look specifically at some keystone plants that attract pollinators. And to get a list of these plants, I consulted a website that is local. It's called www, and then all lowercase, DetroitAtBloom, in one word, .com. DetroitAtBloom.com. There's a lot of information there. And I read that 14% of our native plants support 90% of the butterflies. They are vital. 5% of our plants are keystone plants. 5% are keystone plants that support 70 to 75% of our wildlife and that hold our food chain together. Keystone flowers help support whole ecosystems. Here are a few of their names. Most of these flowers support bees and caterpillars. Many have seeds that are food for birds and humans, and some have those elusive medicinal qualities. I begin with the goldenrod, because goldenrod is so often mistaken for ragweed. Ragweed is the one that causes allergies. And then there's the aster. I featured in a hymn today. There's the rudbeckia, or the black-eyed Susans. Coreopsis, kind of a weedy-looking plant, but very useful. Echinacea. You know, in the past, echinaceas in the central states in America used to grow that high that a person riding a horse through them would see the blossoms above their saddle. That's how big they were. They've shrunk a little bit since then. Also the dogwood flower, Heliopsis, or the fake sunflower, and Helenum, or sneezeweed. And even the maligned ragweed is on the list. It's an ecological food source for birds and butterflies, and the dense high growth of what's called the giant ragweed, about this high. That kind of ragweed provides shelter for many, many animals. And if we look at medicinal flowers, we can include the simple, fragrant chamomile. I haven't seen any here, maybe it's a bit early. And that has many uses in teas that have a calming effect, as you probably know. Echinacea is helpful for colds and boosts the immune system. Lavender has antiseptic properties and reduces stress. So it's not just to put in our closets. Yarrow stems, yarrow flowers staunch bleeding, and that used to be used a lot in the past, before we had other methods. And roses are not just pretty. I know there are at least 2 roses in our bouquet today, and they are indeed very pretty. But their petals and their rose hips have many, many uses, also in teas and in syrups that strengthen the immune system and reduce stress. Then there's hibiscus, which is used to keep the heart healthy. I didn't know that until I read it. And there are elderflowers. They look rather modest in their white, kind of dish-like appearance, but they too are very important. And lilacs, of which we have many today, and allium, they are in Beacon's garden. They are also important keystone flowers. Lilac, for example, isn't just a flower, but its leaves fall at a certain time in autumn when they are needed to supplement the nutrition of the soil. And then next year, everything growing there comes back stronger. They're not just annoying things that you have to rake up after you've raked up the other leaves. It's good to leave them. And most of us know that violets, those wild violets and dandelions, can be eaten in salads. And it's both the flowers and the greens. But did you know that the same is the case for daylily petals and for nasturtium? Nasturtium, many people know about. Flower and leaf can be eaten, and it's delicious. And then there are those friendly-looking pansies. They are great to munch on. All the flowers we brought today, and the ones I mentioned that are not here, are in a group called keystone flowers. And that group is diverse, and it's in our vases today and in nature. And to gather in diversity is also crucial. The plants protect and nurture one another. Those with tall, woody stalks, like the ones that are kind of tough to put in the vases today, they're often taller, and they often have big leaves that provide shelter to the smaller ones. I'm thinking about the stately sunflowers, for example. And the smaller ones, in turn, often put nutrients back in the soil. And the climbing plants use the stalks of their bigger neighbors to thrive. Many, many flowers attract more pollinators in their diversity than they would do individually. And so it is with humans. I think that Norbert Čapek recognized all this. He recognized that each of us can be a keystone flower. And let us here take a moment to bring our minds to our own selves and think, am I a keystone flower? In what way or ways do I sustain and nourish others? Do I contribute to a root system for my family and my community? Can I recognize and appreciate the value and the qualities of my fellow human beings and of other living things? Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Learn how to see. Realize that every living thing connects with everything else." He would have made a good Unitarian Universalist. Let us think about our body, our mind, our daily routines and actions. Do I have hidden qualities? Do others around me have hidden qualities? Do they have skills, solutions to problems? Or do they have a way to express kindness that I may not have noticed until now? In our differences from one another, can we see our beauty in being together? Like this bouquet. And I saw it so well yesterday when that large group of us was working together to bring the social hall back to, no, you will see, beyond what it was before the construction started. We were together and we found plenty of ways to work, yes, but also to chat, to laugh, to commiserate. We blossomed. When we are together in all kinds of settings, we may find again that the